There are things in Dragon Age Veilguard that kind of worries me, and I'm going to talk about this in this video. Now, the reason I want to dive into Dragon Age Veilguard, first of all, I played Acquisition not a long time ago. I haven't played it before, and I really liked it. The second reason is that I play Baldur's Gate 3, and my love for turn-based combat, rose again. And I really wanted to play yet another RPG game that has good story, great characters, and great combat gameplay. But again, when I play Baldur's Gate 3 and I've seen gameplay from Dragon Age, it seems so minimalistic. I mean, just see all the different abilities that you have when you play a game like Baldur's Gate 3, and this is a different beast. Now, the same breath, I really love action RPGs, and playing Elden Ring was absolutely a life-changing experience for me as a gamer, especially that before that I haven't played even Souls games. And I got really excited when I learned that Dragon Age Veilguard will have real-time with pause combat. So usually I enjoy playing different things, and I like trying also new games, but having some kind of a hybrid game actually fits exactly what I want to play right now. And I got even more excited after trying the demo of Metaphor Fantasio, but there are some things that I didn't like. Again, from the demo, very limited in the linear progression. Felt something that, because I really like exploration in RPG game, this is why I love Elden Ring so much. It just made everything so much better when it comes to open world game design. And when I heard that Dragon Age Veilguard won't be an open world rather than be mission oriented, I was kind of disappointed. Now, the other thing is regarding gear, and I was kind of disappointed when I heard that there won't be some kind of random drops. Not that I really want everything to be random, of course, but I want some of it because it gives more dynamic to the game to get excited what you're gonna get next. So again, not official, but people mentioned that there won't be any random gear drops. You're gonna get materials, but not gear drops when eliminating enemies or bosses. And this is the reason why I love playing Diablo games, but of course this is the very extreme side of the scale when it comes to loot system. Again, when I asked also on Reddit, this person was kind enough to answer me, and he mentioned that basically you're gonna find things in chests and vendors, but basically you won't find any drops. Again, just assuming based on gameplay that we've seen, of course, but it's not official, that there won't be any gear drops. And also, this is official, by the way, the developer mentioned it, that when you find duplicates, basically it will upgrade the item. This led me, of course, to understand that if you're going to find an item, you won't have different variations of this item with maybe slightly different stats. It's going to be basically the same, and it will upgrade your the one that you actually duplicate. So it will go up in rarity, in stats, and will also offer more perks that will be available as you continue upgrading that particular item. Now, we need to wait and see, of course, what will be in the end. But the thing is, when it comes to when you have dynamic drops, again, to some degree, I'm not saying that everything needs to be like that. But because, again, if you play the game, for example, just one playthrough, you don't want to rely, for example, and many people will do that, you don't want to rely on randoms, because, again, then you're going to spend a lot of time trying to get something if you ever going to get it at all. That being said, it does add some kind of dynamics into the game, and it can be, by the way, things regarding maybe dynamic event that happen in the world, because from what I've read, basically the levels are kind of linear in most part. This is not an open world game, so when it comes to exploration, I think this will definitely impair the game when it comes to exploration, although some mention that the areas can be pretty big at certain situations, and you can explore them and find different things. But still, it's not like it's going to find really complicated pathways like if you have in Elden Ring, which is an open world game, that you really feel the sense of discovery, which is amazing. I'm just going to give you an example. In Elden Ring, there was kind of a pathway which didn't look super organic at first. I mean, I got actually to this particular place by mistake, and I didn't read any guides, and eventually once I dove down through the little pathing in the structure, I found a pathway that you can't gather anywhere else unless you go to a very specific path, and then I find some really rare items and some tough enemies. But at the end of this road, we took quite a few minutes to get there. Eventually, I found a place where when I opened these doors, I actually find a very rare weapon. Again, this was kind of reward for discovery, for exploration. And that felt absolutely amazing. One of the highlights of the game for me, by the way. And this is something that I love in RPG games. And of course, you can do that very well if you design an open world game like From Software did with Elden Ring, which is a masterpiece when it comes to open world and exploration. But when it comes to that, from what I've seen so far in Dragon Age Veilguard, it seems going to be very, very limited in comparison. And this is something that I already felt when I played the demo from Metaphor. It felt not rewarding at all. I really want the sense of discovery, some kind of dynamic events happening in the world that if you get a chance together, or you can maybe replace certain areas just to get something, or maybe, you know, if you get better variation of something, that could be very, very exciting. But in order for it to be, well, relevant in this game, you need to have lots of drops, because again, if you don't get what you want, and you get every now and then just a single item, you need to understand it's going to be problematic, because the way it actually works is that if you get lots of items, you have a higher chance to get actually what you want. Now, I also heard that in terms of the loot system, you're going to get items that fits your class or your companions. You won't get anything from another class, for example. So it is kind of confined, which is good to the classes, to your class and your companion. Now, of course, I'm not saying let's go Diablo 4. Hell no. I'm just saying that if there was something extra when it comes to loot, because just getting the same thing in order to upgrade or buy a certain item, the same item in order to upgrade, I don't see it as something exciting. I actually would love having something with, better rarities or, different items that I can actually find in the world, discover, or have a chance to get it, than just getting the same thing. Because getting the same thing in upgrade, yeah, I mean, it's okay when it comes to progression in this particular game, which you don't want really players to kind of struggle throughout just getting a good item. But maybe there is a way to actually mix between the two in a way that the loot system will feel more fun, exciting, and rewarding. Because it does feel a bit scripted, again, because the areas are pretty limited in their scope. It's not an open world, and you get items that are basically the same just to upgrade. It feels very much scripted to me, and I really like the dynamic aspect of games, of RPG games. It seems like it's very lacking here. The other thing is related to the amount of abilities you can run at every single time. Again, I'm talking here where if you look at Diablo 4, you can see several of them. And if you look at Dragon Quest Inquisition, you have the post menu, by the way, which you can choose different combinations, which I really like, by the way. But it seems that when it comes to the core abilities that you can use in the combat in real time, it's going to be limited. Somebody even mentioned that in total they cut the available options for you in half compared to Inquisition. Now, when it comes to art style, personally, I like it, to be honest with you. I like the more kind of a cartoony aspect. Some people probably will want something more realistic, so all the little the textures and fine details will kind of more pop, especially when it comes to character design, and look a bit even more scary, but then look cartoony that don't really scare me at all. I mean, don't itch me even to feel a little bit intimidated. But it does look that it's a bit over the top when it comes to visual effects. I heard that there might be an option to tone it down in the settings, because it's kind of too much and a bit confusing, especially with combat with lots of things going on. You want to see all these hints when it comes to visual hints, visual cues, to know when danger is coming. So what I do hope that, again, although again it's not an open world game, Dragon Age Veilguard, I mean, and I hope that there will be a large variety of gear, at least to discover and get from different maybe side missions. Maybe some of them may be longer or more difficult to get, but will feel rewarding for the player. And even if it's mission based, it will be large in scope and will be many different missions that you might maybe even not do all of them in a single run, but you have different options to spend more time and hopefully get some really good loot of powerful items that you can discover by just doing side missions. But I have a feeling that I'll be kind of disappointed because the way the game is designed and aspect. Of course, there's much more to it, and when it comes to story. But for me, it's very important that the combat, I want exploration, and I want the game feel rewarding when it comes to different items, because in RPG games, I have to find many different items and create a build that feels, all right, I discovered something, this works great. It's not something that, we're just going to get every single time the same path in the same way. because it just loses all the great feeling that you get when you come to discovering and getting really something that you didn't expect to get. So this things related to anticipation, it's just to, if it's as I can see it, it would be more predictable, let's say it like that. And so the thing is that, you know, if it comes to playing just a single playthrough, I know that people just want to know what's there rather than relying on some degree of luck. But again, I'm not talking to the extreme situation like Diablo. Yeah, I'm talking about a bit extra that give that sense. But usually in this type of games, you do it organically, just offering more side quests, and you get rewarded for the side quests as well. And it also, of course, adds to the story. But if you want to take more time in order to do other things, you're going to get rewarded for it. So I think in this particular situation, this game is going to be like that. Now, there's also the other side of the coin. When you do several playthroughs, sometimes you want to know where particular items are located. But the things that if you do a second playthrough, you're probably going to choose another class, which are going to be different items for you, because you're not going to get the same items because you're going to play as another class. So it really doesn't matter in that particular situation, because it's going to be different for you anyways. And this is the thing that are important for me, especially if I'm going to replay the game. For example, Elden Ring, I played like 3-4 times, and then of course I did several times also the DLC. Not several times, 2 times. This is because I really enjoy it, because I knew that I'm going to discover new things every single time that I played, because there's so much things to discover, and you do it organically in the world. But it was an open world game, and they play with it so well. Same goes, by the way, to Baldur's Gate. So many things to discover and try that you can't really discover everything in the first playthrough, and eventually in the second playthrough you can find even more things. It's exciting, and I wonder how much, when regarding to that, it will be in Dragon Age Veilguard. So I do hope it's a really big game, and if, of course, what we know so far, it won't be the case what I want, but at least there's going to be lots of side missions that will be very rewarding for you once you're able to finish them. I'll be fine with that. Although I really wanted this game to be an open world game with a really cool and vast exploration, and some things dynamic in the game, so they can dynamic events maybe can pop up and you can get rewarded if you are there. It'd be nice. I'm not talking about something really comprehensive, but that extra sense of randomness into the chances to get really rare loot in the game. So yes, let me know what you think. If you know more information, I'm pretty sure I missed a lot of things, but I try to get more information about the game to learn more, to just do, you know, smart buying decision. Maybe there's something that, you know, I don't like at all, and I'm just gonna skip it. But as of right now, I'm looking forward to it. Looks like a game that I will enjoy playing. The question is whether they nail, you know, this type of things that I mentioned right, and it will be a fun game to play. Let me know in the comment section below your thoughts about these points, and we'll discuss it there. Thanks for watching.